Most firms think that they need more leads, more marketing, more referrals, more inquiries. But here's something interesting. Many growing firms are already receiving enough opportunities and leads. The real problem is that nobody can see clearly what happens after these opportunities arrive. About a year ago, I spoke with the founder of a design build firm. He was frustrated. Marketing wasn't generating results, or at least that's what he believed. So we started to look at the recent inquiries and went into the detail of it. And we realized that a couple came from Instagram, a couple came from WhatsApp, a couple came from referrals. There were a few on emails, and there were a few which were calls. The real problem was not that the leads were not coming in. The real problem was that they did not even know how many leads existed. And because they did not know how many leads existed, they did not know how many leads were active, how many had gone cold, who had worked on which lead, how many of those leads had gone cold because of what reason. Was it our callbacks? Was it the quality of proposals we sent back? The issue was not lead generation. The issue was visibility. And this happens surprisingly often, especially in boutique firms. As companies grow, lead management evolves organically. There's one employee that you'll task with managing Instagram, another with managing your WhatsApp channel, another which follows up on email, another who everyone goes to look after all the leads that come over call. The founder would pick up and respond to most important prospects personally. Individually, none of these decisions seem problematic. They seem very logical because that's how firms grow. But collectively, there comes a point where it starts to create chaos. Imagine there's a prospective client who reaches out. He's planning a premium villa residence, maybe a commercial fit out, maybe a hospitality project, and they send an inquiry. And after that, 2 days, nothing happens from our side. And then somebody responds. Then a meeting gets scheduled, then forgotten, then rescheduled, then delayed. From the client's perspective, they've already learned something about you. It wasn't learned from your portfolio, it was not learned from your proposal, it was learned from your process. The earlier stages of client relationship often reveal how the rest of the project is going to go. Clients notice that. Clients notice how your processes are not going to help them in the long term. Most mature firms, they understand that lead management is not administrative task. It's operational work. In fact, it's operational work that's the first stage of the entire project life cycle, a deeply integrated operational work. Every lead that you get has to enter a structured system, an end-to-end system, not just a simple CRM. And every interaction has to become visible. Every stage has to have ownership. Every action has to have somebody responsible. Every opportunity should be tracked. And most importantly, leadership should be able to answer simple questions like, how many leads do I have? How many of these leads, what percentage, turns into meetings? How many turn into proposals? How many of these proposals turn into signed contracts, i.e., projects? Without those answers, forecasting becomes difficult, even fault finding becomes difficult. Do you know today how many of the leads failed because of what reason? Do you even know how many of the leads that you've received got a customized portfolio versus a regular portfolio, a generic portfolio? And what was the conversion difference between the two? Without these answers, forecasting and metrics become impossible. Consequently, hiring becomes difficult, growth becomes difficult. The irony is that most firms think that CRM systems or any system which captures these leads exists to organize contacts, but they don't. They exist to create visibility because visibility creates predictability. And predictable growth is very different from hopeful growth, finger crossed growth. In the next episode, we'll begin to look at a stage where many project problems are accidentally created long before construction ever kicks off. Client discovery. If any part of this episode felt uncomfortably familiar, that's a good thing. Many operational problems don't appear overnight. They develop gradually as companies grow organically. And the challenge is once problems like founder dependency, visibility gaps, or process bottlenecks get into the system and become a part of our daily operations, then it's very difficult to spot them from the inside. That's why we've opened a limited number of complimentary operational audit consultations. We'll walk through your current workflow, we'll identify the bottlenecks and show you where delays, rework, changes, inefficiencies, operational risk might be hiding. You can request an audit or start a free 2-month trial for the Immaculate platform, which it has been developed to address many of these principles at immaculate.co.in/trial. And if you're enjoying this series, subscribe for the next stage of the operational audit. Thank you.